Hello and welcome back to live coverage of the Apex Gaming Pioneer $2,000 Open. I'm Tandy, joined by Ross Merriam. Say hi, Ross.
Hi, Ross.
And we're down to just two players left in the event. On one side, Cody Hill with that powerful Gruul Huntsman deck playing a bunch of copies of the Huntsman's Redemption, the new saga from MTG WoW, and it's looking quite strong, and it's put him into the finals. And his last opponent of the day is going to be Young Dingo, the streamer, playing Blue-White Lotus Field. Dingo was one of our guests last week in our Lorcana event. He stayed all week and tested a bunch with PT Bench and Krista O, his teammates, and he made back-to-back finals. Seems like a pretty good 1 week.
Yeah, so he, ran through the Swiss yesterday, was 4-0, double drew in, then 2-1 in the top 8, of course, so 6-1 record yesterday. Today took a loss in the Swiss, but is 2-0 so far, so another 6-1 record. So far 12-2. We'll see if he can get up to the 13th win, or if he falls just short of the trophy one more time.
Yeah, well, both of these players are already qualified for our Apex Magic Invitational next month on the November 17th weekend. So that means they're going to pass down those invites. So congrats to Garrison Fote on Rakdos Mid for qualifying for the Invitational, as well as Brandon Carpenter, the Humans player we just watched. Congrats to both of them once again for qualifying for the Invitational, and we'll see them next month. Well, these two decks, the Gruul Huntsman and Blue-White Lotus Field. Ross, why don't you tell us what you think is going to happen in the matchup and who you think is going to win?
Well, we've seen now Young Dingo dispatch two hyper-aggressive decks in the first two rounds, top 8 and the top 4. That was Boris Heroic in the quarters, and then we just saw, of course, Mono White Humans in the semis. This is another aggro deck, but one that is not quite as explosive as those, so I gotta feel pretty good about it. That said, there are some problematic cards. Reckless Stormseeker is the big one.
Stormseeker is disgusting
Haste
in this
threats
matchup.
are a big problem.
Yeah.
There's still plenty of creature lands to worry about out of the Gruul deck.
And they even have Mutavaults. They're greedy.
Yeah, they've got 2 Lair of the Hydra and a Den and 3 Mutavaults. So 6 creature lands and a Sokenson even.
Okay.
So plenty going on there. Azika's Chariot can be tough to answer.
Right.
And Voldaren Thrill Seeker plus Bone Crusher Giant with those stomps give them a little bit of reach. So not quite as explosive, but they have more ways to get over the top even once you stabilize a little bit. So a little bit of a different matchup, and one that I think is very close. I'm having a hard time finding, one player with a big edge, and so because he's proven me wrong twice, I'm not going to let him do it a third time. I'm calling it for Dingo.
I got Cody Hill, man. I really like this Huntsman's Redemption card. I think it's completely changed how the deck plays, and I love the Voldaren Thrill Seeker builds. I hated them before, but now they don't have to play that many, and they just get to kind of tutor it up at their own whims. The saga itself, the Huntsman's Redemption, just adds not only a cheap castable threat, but also a lot of consistency. We saw it previously find a mountain with no red sources in the opening hand. Turned out perfect for Cody Hill in that game.
Yeah, it was a very, very important find. Only has the one mountain in the list and one forest, so not finding a basic land that often with the second chapter of the Huntsman's Redemption, but the times where you do, it's really important.
Saved his bacon for sure. All right, well, the players are in the feature match area and ready to go, so let's head on down there and see who takes it down. We're in the finals of the Apex Gaming $2,000 Pioneer Open. On your left, Cody Hill with Gruul Huntsman. On your right, Young Dingo, the streamer, with Blue-White Lotus Field. And Cody Hill going to be on the play. Let's see if he has a turn 1 elf. Shocking stomping ground. That's a good sign.
Big thing here is that the winner will earn a regional championship spot in Denver next year. Also, a few $100 on the line, 500 for first, 300 for second. So let's hope these players are on their game for one final match here.
Castle
Ohio.
Ventress, the land for Dingo, entering tapped. A slow start, and now we're going to capitalize. Here's Reckless Stormseeker. We said this card could be a problem for Dingo. This thing's going to chunk in for 3, and now every creature Cody Hill plays after this will have some sort of punish with haste. Does Dingo pass with no land play? Or, oh my gosh.
I said I wasn't going to let him make me out a chump one more time, and he's like, oh yeah? What if I kept a poopy one-lander and got crushed?
Well, I think he's got a 2-lander, Ross. I just think the second land is a Lotus Field. Here's a left truck piece, and with that land where I was in play, we're going to
11.
Crunch. All right. It seems like Young Dingo's game 1s in all these aggressive matchups quite bad. Just gets completely squished.
Well, he just keeps... Okay, he had the Proctor and the Lotus Field, so still... You can just mulligan.
World's fastest finals incoming, Ross. All right, as these players are looking to their sideboards for a little bit of help, I'm going to have Ross Merriam give us his expert analysis. What do you think young Dingo is going to be bringing in to fight this Gruul Huntsman deck?
He doesn't have any additional lands to bring in, and he can't bring in anything to save him from himself. But what he does have is a Dragon Lord Dromoka, 2
okay.
Thought Distortion, 2 Supreme Verdict, 2 Narset's Reversal, 2 Dovin's Veto, 2 Change the Equation, 2 March of Otherworldly Light, and 2 Lantern of the Lost. Much like all the other aggro matchups, I like Dragon Lord Dromoka, I like March of Otherworldly Light, but in this matchup, though, I really like Change the Equation, because now it's a real counter spell.
Counters everything, except for boat. Is there even a boat in the deck anymore?
There are no boats. I could also see the Supreme Verdicts as well. This is matchup. They're not as necessary, but still good to have more sweepers in the aggro matchup if you have space for them over poopy cards like Shark Typhoon and Sphinx's Revelation.
Other side of things, Cody Hill took that lightning fast game number 1. He's going to be on the draw here in game number 2 with this Gruul Huntsman deck. What sideboard cards do you think will be coming in on his side, Ross?
He's got a 14-card sideboard since Gigantha has taken up one of them in the companion spot. That one's not coming in, but also has a Hazoret the Fervent, a Klothys God of Destiny, a Tranquil Frillback, a Roast, 2 Lithomantic Barrage, 2 Rending Volley, 2 Damping Sphere, 2 Unlicensed Hearse, and 2 Cinder Vines. So I like the Hazoret. I would consider the Klothys because it's a difficult permanent for Dingo to answer, but with the marches, probably not. I think I'd side against it.
Even Farewell.
The interesting ones are the Lithomantic Barrages and Rending Volleys. Barrage I like a lot because it will answer a Teferi. It deals 5 to Planeswalkers. But all of them will answer the Strict Proctor, and we've seen how important that card is to young Dingo's game plan. So if you're able to answer one of those early at the low cost of 1 mana, unlike having to spend 4 mana for an ossification, it's a much bigger deal. So Lithomantic Barrage for sure. Rending Volley more narrow because it can't answer a Teferi, but I think answering Proctor, especially on the draw, is good enough.
All right, as these players are shuffling up for game number 2, I'd like to remind you that next month, November 17th weekend, the Invitational for Apex Gaming will be happening, and you can come and try to earn your slot in our LCQs if you're not already qualified. We're also going to have a full slate of side events as well as a command zone and a fully stocked prize wall. Make sure to head on out to Apex Gaming in Caldwell, Ohio on the November 17th weekend.
I glossed over it. The 2 Damping Spheres are definitely coming in too. Those are good.
Yes. Nice.
We like those 2.
Nice.
Just stop the Lotus Field straight up. That seems great. You've got the Akroan Wars and the Obliterating Bolts are pretty poor, so that's 6 cards that you can cut immediately and have room for the 6 interactive cards, and you can find room for Hazoret or Klothys from the rest. Scavenging is okay because of Memory Deluge, but Bone Crusher Giant's not great.
I got a Pile Shuffler. He did drop a card on the ground, so I think this is a legit counting my deck situation. So as he is taking a sweet time shuffling up his deck, I want to remind y'all that you can check out apexgaming.gg if you're looking for deck lists from any of our Apex events. We did have a 5K Modern Open yesterday, won by Travis Brown's Mono White Hammer. Look, I remember Disgruntled Elk. I remember his Twitter handle, but I can't remember his last name to save my life. He's just Travis.
It's a very uncommon last name.
Every time we show up, it's like, hey, Travis.
It's an easy one to forget.
Yeah. But apexgaming.gg for all the deck lists that we do have for our tournaments here at the Apex Gaming Home Center. Now, we're looking to get that website upgraded a bit and become a place where you can find deck lists from all of the Apex events, including our satellite stores. And if you are a satellite store looking to get in on the action, you can go to apexgaming.gg and pick up one of our creator kits and run an Apex Invitational Qualify yourself. We're going to be doing all of this again next year, and we only have a few events left, I think, for our satellite stuff over the next month, but it's getting down to the wire.
Yeah, this is the last of our monthly events, but probably still a few satellites going on, and we've got those LCQs next month, on Invitational weekend. The Invitational itself will be that Sunday, November 19th, so the 17th and 18th we'll be awarding 12 more slots right at the last minute. You can come down, see the Apex Home Store for yourself, see the prize wall, see the vendors, see the food that they've got out here, and what a great space it is.
Listen here, Ross.
Say hi to us, too.
Yeah, you can say hi to us. But listen here. I just want everyone to know that if you've ever been to a store for an RCQ or a tournament of any size, and you thought to yourself, this is cramped, this is hot, this is gross, I don't want to be here anymore. Well, we got an enormous, fully air conditioned with brand new bathrooms, play space connected to the store here, and so we're able to run events with hundreds, not dozens, but hundreds of players comfortably and cool.
That's very important.
Yeah.
As somebody that has played many a PTQ in
Oh, yeah.
about 95-degree weather.
At the end of the day, sometimes you are walking through the stank in the tournament hall, but that's not the case here.
Sometimes you're swimming through it.
All right, Cody Hill is going to be taking a mulligan to 5. If you're young Dingo, you got to be pumping your fist. He did keep 7. And
Dingo, this is his plan against all the aggro decks. He just gets crushed game 1, and he wins the post-sideboard games.
Oh, yeah. He's been on the draw in all of the pre-sideboard games. You know, he actually was on the draw, kept a reasonably risky hand with multiple copies of Lotus Field with Strict Proctor and Discontinuity, maybe thinking, I'm unlikely to win the game on the draw without my sideboard cards. Maybe I'll keep this high-risk, high-reward hand. Unfortunately, bricked it off, and Cody Hill with an explosive draw just took it very easily anyway.
Yeah, that looks like a Cinder Vines in Cody Hill's hand, so might have brought those in for this game.
All right, we'll see how they are, but I tend to think people drastically over sideboard in Magic, and I think most people would be probably 5% better in their match win percentage if they did not sideboard at all.
Well, that was Brandon Carpenter's undoing, it looked like, in the previous round, but we still have an excellent start here on
Yes.
5 cards with Elf, Interreckless, Stormseeker, and no Lotus Field on turn 3 for Dingo. So even though he's on 5 cards, Cody Hill looking pretty good in the early going.
Right, and we're getting to transform our Stormseeker into the backside, and that one's going to give an extra buff and trample in case that matters, but we're going to cast Bone Crusher Giant from hand. Dingo going to take it. This is going to give +2 to the Bone Crusher and smash in. Dingo likely going to turn that Thespian Stage into a white source, especially if he has Supreme Verdict next turn, and I'll be interested to see if he has it, because if he doesn't, he's dead.
Yeah, that's a 9-ball, and Dingo is facing down lethal here before he casts a spell.
If he had Verdict and he didn't turn his land white, he might be kicking himself. We have Hingegate Pathway. So this has to be the Wandering Emperor, right? There's like no other options.
But so if we have, yeah, we're gonna be able to stay alive. Even another bone. If we had Lovestruck Beast, that would be good.
What about another Reckless Stormseeker? I think that's what's about to come down.
Okay, and then we pump Elf and one of the Stormseekers. You exile one Stormseeker, and you've got 3, 6, 10. That would be lethal.
Oh, here's Cinder Vines from Cody Hill. This is a preemptive measure. We're going to punish Dingo if he plays the Wandering Emperor after combat.
But Dingo can Emperor in response to save the point.
He chooses not to, so we're going to pump.
Oh, he pumps the Bone Crusher.
Holding up, I think, Stomp. He has Stomp in hand, so he can do
Okay.
2 extra damage that away. Might also have something else.
There's a Shark Typhoon in Dingo's hand, so
They got trampled, though. This ain't enough, homie. There's a Stomp, and Young Dingo is donezo. Cody Hill's going to be your champion. And he sweeps the top 8.
did Dingo cast a spell in the finals? He cycled a Shark Typhoon.
No, he
didn't cast a spell in game 1, right?
No.
You see, I kept a 1-lander. 0 spells cast, huh?
That's pretty good.
I guess Dingo got me. I was like, I'm not going to let him make me a jump 3rd time.
Oh, he did.
And he's like, what if I just never cast a spell?
All right, well, I'm going to go grab Cody Hill, and we're going to get a little winner's interview for you. I'll be right back.
Unbelievable. Well, congratulations.
Dingo. That's extremely believable.
Congratulations to Cody Hill. An excellent run. A deck that I think was very well positioned in this tournament. The Rakdos decks were all mid-range, no sacrifice. There was a lot of aggressive decks, especially at the top tables. And the Gruul mid-range deck definitely got a shot in the arm with the Huntsman's Redemption. So we might be seeing a little bit more of this in Pioneer moving forward. And we're going to get Cody here and talk to him about the deck for a little bit and give him his kudos before Todd and I wrap up this weekend here at the Apex Gaming Home Store in Caldwell, Ohio. Last invitational qualifier weekend of the year. But as we've been saying all day, We have the biggest event of the year, the biggest event yet at Apex Gaming coming up next month. That is November 17th to the 19th, our Season 3 Invitational. Oh. Cody, first of all, congratulations. Now, this Gruul deck, is this a deck that you have been playing for a while, or did you pick it up after the Huntsman's Redemption?
I top 4'd the last Apex event with it.
Okay.
I was playing Rubies at the time.
Okay,
Instead of
okay.
Huntsman's.
Thank God we didn't remember that. That would have been helpful. So, Huntsman's Redemption. That's definitely the new thing with it. Talk to me about that card. It's something that's been adopted for a little while. How exactly does it improve the deck? What is its role?
Not to exaggerate, but a Splinter Twin. Basically, if you go like turn 1 Elf, turn 2 Redemption, and then like turn 3, flow the mana, sack the Elf, grab Thrill Seeker, play any creature, your opponent's dead the next turn most of the time.
Okay, so you're really just getting really aggressive with the card if you need to.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that's how like against like any decks like Lotus stuff like you're trying to race it doesn't interact, you just kill them.
Yeah, and normally I talked before the finals that Dingo had played against other aggressive decks throughout the elimination rounds, beat Boros Heroic in the quarters, beat Mono White in the semifinals. This is supposedly a less explosive. You're a bigger aggro deck, but you're saying now with the Huntsman's Redemption and Thrill Seeker, you're just as explosive, but you have a more powerful mid and late game.
Right.
You maintain that powerful mid and late
Like
game.
an example, a match I had earlier, my opponent was at 12. They're playing Igorian Omnath. I had a Gigantha in play, and on my turn, like I obliterating bolted the Omnath, killed it, and I looked at it. I'm like, "You're at 12, right?" And you're like, "Yeah, am I dead?" I'm like, "Yeah, you're dead." And I just played Thrill Seeker with Gigantha, attacked for 7, and flung it at him.
Yeah, I mean that's classic Thrill Seeker stuff. And now the good thing with the Redemption is that you can only play 2 copies and you see it much more frequently without clogging up your other draws where it's not going to be as effective.
You also get to play just like kind of tutor targets in your sideboard,
Yeah,
like Hazoret, Clothis.
How did any of those come up a lot today?
So I did grab Hazoret twice and Clothis once.
Okay, and how about the what is it? The Tranquil Frillback? That's the other singleton in the
I
sideboard.
ordered it in and never saw it. Like it just never came up.
Yeah, and that's perfectly fine. You didn't need it, clearly.
Mhm.
Okay, well, congratulations again, Cody.
Thank you.
And look forward to seeing you at the Invitational come November.
Yep, I'll be there.
Okay, let's get Todd back in here. Let's wrap this up. We got some wings to eat.
Sir, congrats again. All right, so that's a wrap for a wonderful weekend. Another wonderful weekend here at the Apex Gaming home store in Caldwell, Ohio. It's always a pleasure coming out here with Ross, with some other friends to put on the show for y'all. I want to say thank you to the Huck brothers, Kyle and Taryn, the co-owners of Apex, for giving us this opportunity.
There's like 6 other Huck brothers.
That's true. There's a lot of them, and they each own a different restaurant in Caldwell, Ohio.
Okay, but we're only thanking those 2.
Yes, and I want to say thank you to our judging staff as well as our regular staff that's not, this part of the normal Apex family. Shout out to the raids we had today from a few friends.
Yeah, we had Corey, we had Bambino.
Bambino, yeah. Also, big shout out to all the players in the event today. We had over 40 players for our Pioneer 2K. Yesterday, we had 61 players for our Modern 5K. Thank you so much to the players who showed up and played, as well as those of you at home who were watching. That's about all I got, Ross. I'm ready to go eat.
Yeah, thanks to our, our sponsors one last time. We got G Fuel, we got Wings, etc. We got Ultimate Guard. Y'all are great.
We love you. Thank you so much for keeping the lights on. That's Ross. I'm Tandy. Say bye, Ross.
Bye, Ross.